The following content is sponsored content.
Well, in case you didn't know, it finally feels like summer out there, and it may be even further into the dog days of summer. But with the season officially beginning very soon, there are some things that you want to keep in mind to stay safe while you have fun outside. So here with us now, Dr. Julie St. John, the Associate Dean at the Texas Tech University Health Science Center right here in Abilene. Welcome, Dr. St. John. Glad to have you with us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
You know, we've been talking about this all week long. Heat safety tips with these oppressive heat and the heat indices Sam keeps telling us, and I think, where are we? Are we in the Mojave Desert? Except the humidity rate is so high, and I think that bears a lot of concern for people because they don't realize, you know, with the humidity rate high and the temperature high and the perspiration high, a lot of things can go very wrong very quickly.
Absolutely.
And you know, kids want to get outside and they want to swim and they want to play with their friends, and the rest of us want to work in the yard and make sure our flowers aren't wilting out there. But we don't want to wilt in the process. So talk to us about some of the things we should be mindful of while we're dealing with this heat.
Absolutely. So, and really it's common sense. You just have to be cognizant of when it's the hottest, right? So between 10 and 4, if you can avoid a lot of direct exposure at that time, if you go outside wearing light colored clothing, loose fitting clothing, sunscreen, of course, hats are our friend. We love the hats.
We've got a whole show and tell of your stuff here, you guys.
Absolutely.
This should be like in your zip bag arsenal of things when you go out every day.
Absolutely. Keep it in your vehicle. Take it with you. If you're going to be outside watching baseball games or other activities, you know, umbrella really does help keep the heat off of you.
Rain.
No, not just for the rain, particularly in West Texas, but just some of those things. And really, people don't understand how quickly your body evaporates the water. Yeah. So if you're outside for an hour, every 15 minutes you should drink about 8 ounces.
Wow, that's
so
fast.
That's, if you think about it, that's 2 regular size, you know, plastic water balls. That's 2 an hour.
2 of those every hour.
Yes. So if you're taking the kids somewhere, going to be at the park, take plenty of water for everyone.
You know, I think a lot of people get confused too, or they even forget, especially when they're going to the pools out there, that they're perspiring while they're in the water, and they think, oh, the water, and I don't feel hot, and it doesn't feel so terrible because I'm cooling off, and my body temperature's staying down, but they're still sweating. And you still need to be ingesting that water.
Absolutely, and sunburn can take up to 12 to 15 hours to show. Yeah. So you may not look right at the time, but don't wait till you're pink. Absolutely. And the other thing I would say about the heat is to make sure in vehicles, it's not just when you're in the vehicle, but one thing I'd like to remind people are lock your vehicles. Small children get out of homes and they might go to the neighbor's yard, grandma and grandpa's, and get in the car, and then they can't get out. And it's just a matter of minutes before it's too hot in the car for them. So that is something also, although it's not just leaving or forgetting someone in the car or running in somewhere and leaving them, it's also thinking about keeping people safe from getting inside your car.
That's a great point, something we don't consider. We think all the time, you know, put a shoe in the back seat, put something there to make sure you get those little ones out if they've fallen asleep and you just inadvertently get out. But like you said, lock the vehicles so they can't get into them, because the inside of a car can reach 140 degrees so very quickly.
Right, absolutely.
All right, certainly some good tips is where, you know, bug spray, those are other things we should take out there. We have some mosquitoes that are just about big enough to carry us off.
Yes, and I think we're all experiencing the aftermath of the wonderful rain we had, but carrying bug spray with you. I went and purchased one and I have it in all our vehicles, and I have one a couple places in our house just as a reminder to our kids. Check the content of DEET if that's a concern, but yes, sunscreen's a big one, or insect repellent is a big one, and also same thing, long sleeve if you're going to be outside, light clothing, hats. Those also help against mosquitoes. Plant some marigolds, some other things, citronella outside your home will also help with the mosquitoes.
All good points here. And, you know, you've got this hat here, and I think a lot of us think, oh, well, it's hot, you know, take the hat off, fan ourselves, let the heat escape from our head. But, you know, like this one here, you know, it's got the holes in it, it's breathable.
Yes.
It's really amazing how much this actually keeps the heat from being absorbed through the top of your head.
Right, and if you have someone outside mowing, a wet towel, just constantly keeping a moist towel around your neck helps tremendously with heat as well.
You know, it doesn't take long for heat exhaustion to take effect, and we certainly don't want it to become a heat stroke for any individual out there. But we experienced it firsthand right here at the station this week. You know, individuals that get out there and we're not acclimated to this temperature just yet, and certainly not to the humidity for West Texas.
Right, absolutely.
All good things that we certainly need to continue to remind one another from. Like you said, these are good things. Keep these in your car at all times. You know, sunscreen, bug spray, a water bottle, umbrella, not just for it raining, and something to keep the heat off your head. And like you said, light layers and loose clothes.
Absolutely.
Okay, we want everyone to stay healthy. We're glad it's finally summer.
We are too, and if you go to the pool, watch those kiddos.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
For these tips and more tips on staying safe this summer, we're going to have a full list of them and the facts along with this interview. All of it can be found on our website, bigcountryhomepage.com.
The preceding was sponsored content.